Welcome back. I'm Pat, that Halloween movie collector, and I'm back with another What If for a Halloween movie. And this time we're doing Halloween Ends, the final What If in the Halloween franchise. And what a divisive one it is, to say the least. So there's going to be a lot of different suggestions here, and just fan service, and just there's only so much you could do with this film. It's not horrible. It's just not the way you end a trilogy. I was invested in the character, kind of liked it, just not in to end this storyline after all these years to come to this culmination. But let's just go right into What If for Halloween Ends. Okay, so my first What If for Halloween Ends is, okay, so you're introduced to Laurie Strode again in 2018, and she's in super prep mode. She's on her guard. Her house is like a bunker. She's got guns, ammunition, you name it. She's all ready because she's convinced that at some point Michael is going to come back for her, which he does. Technically doesn't come back specifically for her. That was the storyline. But, of course, he does break out and does come back out. So everything she prepared for helped her survive. And we saw that all through that film, ruined her relationship with her family, with her daughter, granddaughter, other relationships, divorced. Holding down a job. She was just overly protective and overly cautious of every single thing. And it just basically ruled her life all this time. And of course, it bled over into Halloween Kills because it's the same night and she's in the hospital. But what I didn't understand is after Halloween, the events in 2018 in Kills, Michael kills her son-in-law, kills her daughter, kills her granddaughter's friends, kills countless other people, including some of the OG characters like Tommy Doyle, who she babysat, Sheriff Brackett, who she knew because of Annie, who was her best friend back in '78. So it was just, and of course, Nurse Marion was killed as well. I'm sure they had a relationship because they were trying to establish that they all got together once a year not to celebrate, but to remember. And, of course, it was the 40th anniversary of it. So my what if is, what if Laurie was still in prep mode? Right? Wouldn't she still be on her guard? Because now she's like playing happy homemaker, baking pies, and just going about her business, just writing this novel, trying to write a manuscript. Why wouldn't she be even more in prep mode? Because, first of all the people that died, including her daughter, and Michael got away. Nobody knows where he is. Why isn't she freaking out? Instead, she's playing happy homemaker. I didn't understand that. Didn't like that. I didn't like that Laurie storyline in this, because I would have expected her to be even on full throttle prep mode and trying to be on guard because of that. That's something I just didn't digest. My number two, what if? Now, I've said it before. I was invested in the Corey story. I watched, the first 45 to 50 minutes where there was no Michael, and you see this story of this kid, which I enjoyed what was going on. If it was a standalone film, I would have enjoyed it. Just didn't belong here. You don't just shoehorn this into the end of a trilogy. So I didn't like it in this movie, but I was invested in the story. I thought it was a good character. It could have played out well in an anthology series or even a television series, which they're supposed to be doing. But if they were going to go this route and keep Corey in there, and they kept using the word infected, that was like a keyword through the whole thing, because they're saying how Corey was infected with Michael's evil, I guess. What if Corey shadowed Michael through the whole film? What if they never met, and he's slowly but surely declining mentally and becoming what he does become? He didn't have to meet Myers to do that. He had a backstory already where the kid died, and he went through all this trauma. He really didn't need the whole backstory, him meeting Myers and them locking eyes and all this other nonsense. He could have used Myers' vehicle and he knew Myers was still on the loose, got away. What's to say he just didn't dress up as Myers and just be the evil Myers, and then at some point they cross paths? Okay? That would have been a little bit cooler and a little bit more interesting for me personally if it was done that way. Because the Corey story was okay. I got that. And it wasn't, that wasn't the worst part of this film. It was just that it didn't belong. And I think had they shadowed each other where you saw Myers still on the hunt, he's hiding out in the cave. He's still trying to get back to full strength, so to speak. And you see the imagery of missing people through the film, which is, you're alluding to the fact that Michael's killed these people. Now they're missing. And that's how he's building up his strength. Maybe he comes out and preys upon people to build up his strength. And then later on in the film, after all the stuff that Corey goes through, all the bullying and all the other bullshit that goes on, and he just flips shit. And at some point, maybe towards the end, they meet. Cross paths. Would have been kind of cool. Different take on it. My number 3, which was the hardest thing to swallow in this film. My number 3 is, what if Corey was picked on by like athletes? Football players, anybody. Wrestlers. I just did not. No offense to people in the band. I have friends that were in the band. I play the guitar. It was hard to perpetuate an image of this little group, this clique of kids as bullies in their majorette outfits. Like they just walked off the field. It didn't play out that well. Usually, generally, you see a bully. They're like, biker dudes, or they're like gene metalheads, or they're just not an image of somebody in a band. And I just couldn't smile. It wasn't just me. Everybody I talked to, like, seriously? This kid's getting pushed around by a bunch of band geeks? The fuck is that? Yeah, it would have been a little bit more believable if it was like a bunch of big guys picking on him, and rightly so, saying, oh, you're a killer, a kid killer, and all this other shit, because you're going to get those asshole jocks. That would have been a little bit more believable than the Bandcamp guys and one girl, picking on him. Just didn't smile. Oh, 2 girls, rather. My number 4. Now, this could have played out even with the way the story was. Now, what if Michael went after Corey? What's to say it didn't play out like it did? The guys, the band geeks, they pushed him over the bridge. Michael pulls him in. Instead of having the interlocking eyes, what's to say he didn't see Myers and got away? And now Myers is going after him because now he's been seen. He knows that somebody knows he's hiding out there. So what's to say he didn't go out and go after Corey and try to hunt him down before he spilled the beans? And all the carnage that could have been in the aftermath of that. Right? That would have been a little bit different. Rather than that whole locking eyes thing, and it's just... My number 5. This sort of plays into how I couldn't come to grips with the fact that Laurie was this happy homemaker now, rather than still in prep mode. My number 5 is, what if Allison went looking for Michael? Right? She's working at Dr. Mathis' office and just going about her life. But Michael still was never caught, so he's basically considered to be at large, I guess. And he killed both your parents, your boyfriend, your best friends. He killed all these people. More so, you'd think she would be more gung-ho to go after him than Laurie, because she lost all those people that were close to her. And now she's just, trying to get the promotion at Dr. Mathis' office and move on with her life. Hell no. If some guy killed my fucking parents and killed killed my girlfriend and my best friend and all these other friends, and doesn't seem like anybody's looking for him, right? They're just... You meet Doug Mulaney, the police officer who she dated for a brief while, and they're just at a party having cake and everything. Dude, this guy that killed all these people is still at large. Where the fuck why aren't you people looking for him? Yeah, I don't understand that. But I would have thought that Allison would have been mad as hell and sort of become a younger version of Laurie, where she's all prepped and trying to find him. I had to throw this in there. Number 6, simply for fan service. Didn't have to necessarily be Leo Geter, but what if the DJ was Barry Sims? How freaking cool would that be? Because the other guy was, he was an arrogant son of a bitch, and he got his comeuppance. But it would have been a nice callback if it was like a more of a talk show, arrogant son of a bitch that showed up and sort of did the same thing where Barry Sims did in Part 6, where he came to the town and did a live broadcast and then all this other shit. I was just thinking about that. I'm like, how cool would it be if it was Barry Sims? He had the Barry Kicks Ass t-shirt on and everything. That simple fan service for me, for all you hardcore franchise fanatics like myself. Simple fan service, but it would have been funny if you were sitting in the theater and the next thing you know, you see the guy up there with a Barry Kicks Ass t-shirt. I would have loved it.
Hello,
My number 7 is something that I guess once you see the ending of Halloween Ends, you sort of wonder if this is where it would have went had they extended this timeline and storyline. Is what if in Halloween Ends, what if Laurie and Frank are now in a relationship? Because they did reconnect in the hospital, talked about the time they went on a date and how it didn't work out, and they were just genuinely concerned for each other and caring for each other and going through all this shit together. What's to say that, you know, they didn't rekindle a little flame there and be in a relationship? Maybe they could have been living together. Maybe she said, maybe it progressed to the point where they could live together, and he wanted to protect her because he's still a police officer, and help look after both her and Allison, because now Allison's parents are gone. Could have been a much more different storyline, and then he could have been in the house when Michael showed up. They could have been a bigger showdown and all this other stuff. Yeah, I thought that they would have. I mean, granted, it progressed and ends to the point where you see them at the very end together, and I guess you're assuming at some point maybe they will have a relationship, but they could have did it in ends. And number 8. Now there's a lot of cringy parts in here because of the way with the interactions of both Corey and Michael together. But my number 8 is this is just because I think it would be funny as hell, and I would love to see how it would play out. Number 8. What if you saw Michael and Corey traveling together? Right? They get to Dr. Mathis' house somehow. I mean, nobody sees this big hulking guy who's all fucked up looking on the streets. I mean, did he have him on the back of his motorcycle? How did Michael just get there and not be seen? Right? What if you seen them traveling together and they were hiding in the shadows, trying to get to their destination? Because you always scratched your head like, well, why did Michael have to be there to kill Dr. Mathis? And, oh God, what's her name? Michelle Dawson's character's name in it, which I'm forgetting. The hot nurse who got the job. I am assuming that Corey was going there because of what happened to Allison, because she got the promotion, and he did make comments about how Dr. Mathis treats her like shit. So he probably figures, okay, let's go after them, kill these two assholes, and I'll bring Michael there because he will recharge. He'll help him get back to full strength, so to speak. But it would have been, could you have seen that? Like, seeing the two of them go down the street? Or, like I said, Corey's got a friggin' motorcycle. Did he throw his ass on the back? I don't know. I just thought it would have been funny as hell. And my number 9 is something a lot of people thought was going to happen towards the very end, myself included. So, after that ridiculous parade of Michael Myers' dead body through the town to the metal yard, to the junkyard, where they take him and put him in the metal grinder. Okay. What if, when Laurie was pushing him in, what if at the last minute Michael grabbed her and pulled her in with him? That's what I thought was going to happen. One or two other friends of mine said the same thing. They thought like he was going to turn around and just grab her, or even grab her as he was going in and she got free. But what if Michael grabbed her at the last minute and pulled her in? For all intents and purposes, this was the end of the storyline, and they could have died together, right? Instead of them killing each other in battle, where he bled out or he killed her and whatnot. Actually, which was supposed to be the original ending of 2018, which we've still not seen, where in theory, she was supposed to die and he was supposed to bleed out too and die. What's to say that didn't happen? Could have been interesting. Would have been a good shock moment because she was, oh my God, he pulled her in, right? That would have been interesting. And of course, my number 10 is the biggest one of this film and what everybody said. What if Corey wasn't in this film? Think about it. If you see how all the events play out, if you took out the beginning where he's babysitting and the little boy dies, the movie could have just been the same, and you just take out all the sequences with Corey, because he still could have been hiding out in that sewer in the cave. He still could have been hiding out there. You still could have had the creepy guy outside who really resembled Nick Castle, who they should have had Nick Castle play that part. Could have been there like the gatekeeper. And for those that have read the Halloween Ends novelization, that guy plays a much bigger role in the novelization. Now, that's something when we get to the Halloween Ends book club. The novelization of this movie is a lot better than the film. There's a lot more Myers, a lot more backstory of other characters that they really should have put to film and pushed the Corey stuff and made that a secondary issue. But what if Corey was taken out? Okay, so he's still in the sewer and hiding out in that cave. Could have been doing that. People could have been disappearing still while he was recharging. The crazy old man outside could have still been out there basically guarding him, because you do find out in the book that they were in the sanitarium together. Go read the book. There's a backstory on him. And Laurie could have been looking, and so Allison could have been looking for him. He could have been coming out at some point to try to find them, to take them out, and along the way killed other people. The events didn't have to play out the way they did. You didn't need the Corey character at all. It was really just to have a love interest for Allison. Didn't really need it. She could have still been dating Doug Mulaney. Right? She could have been dating him still. And maybe he wasn't a dick, or maybe he was a dick. And he was saying maybe she was trying to use him to help get information to help find Myers, like they should have been doing. They should have been trying to find a guy who killed all these freaking people, not just, town's going back to normal. He disappeared. No, it doesn't happen. He just doesn't just disappear after he kills all these people. So if he wasn't in the storyline, it still would have worked. He still could have came to the house at the end and went after her. Corey didn't serve any purpose. What did he serve? The scene where he's come up the stairs, she knew it was him, took him out, dead. Okay, what's to say that wasn't Myers? The real Myers come up there after her, and she shot him in the end. Of course, he wouldn't have died like Corey did at first. And they still did battle, just like they did in the original. You didn't need him. If you pulled him out of the story, the movie still would have worked. Actually, probably would have worked better, because it would have pissed a lot of people off, because you would have had a little bit more filler if you took the Corey out, and you could have read the Ends novelization, a lot of the stuff out of the novelization, and put it in this film, and it would have been fine. You did need the Corey story. And there you have it. So that is my what ifs for Halloween Ends. This concludes the Halloween franchise. I went through each and every one. Go back and check them all out. Do me a favor, if you have some other what ifs, hit me in the comments below. I'd like to hear them, because I've been hearing a lot of other ones from people, and I've said it on every other one that I've done so far. I'm like, oh shit, I didn't think of that. That would have worked out pretty well. So yeah, make sure you hit me up in the comments. I'd like to know. Make sure you like this video. Helps people, like-minded Halloween fans like myself, and yourself if you're watching this, find this channel. Be sure to like and subscribe. We just hit over our giveaway margin of 1031 subscribers. New contest will be announced for new subscribers, so make sure you subscribe, because I'll start taking names and entering you in the new giveaway, which will be announced in a video on this channel. So search around if you're here specifically because you're a Halloween fan. Tons of Halloween stuff. Just look behind me. Go check around the channel. Run around the channel. There's a lot of shit, and you'll step in a lot of shit. But that is it for me for this what if, and that is it for the what ifs for the Halloween franchise. Thank you for watching them. I'm probably going to, maybe after Christmas, as of this recording, probably after Christmas, first of the year, maybe start doing what ifs. I'm thinking about doing what ifs for the Friday the 13th franchise, because that's my second favorite horror franchise, and I could easily think of ones for each and every one of those films. So I think I'm going to move into the what ifs for Friday the 13th franchise next, probably after Christmas, because the next 2 weeks are going to be busy with the holiday stuff. So make sure you like, subscribe, comment, and we'll talk to you soon.